Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Dallas ISD Bond 2020 Community Meeting regarding the replacement school for John Quincy Adams Elementary School. We are happy to have you join us this evening, whether you're joining us via Facebook Live or on our Zoom call. I'm, I'm going to pause at this time to allow our interpreter to come on and give further instructions in Spanish. Go ahead, Jesus.
Thank you, Ms. Bell. Buenas tardes, padres de familia. En unos momentos vamos a empezar a interpretar al español. Si desea escuchar esta presentación en español, pueden seleccionar la opción en español en la parte inferior de la parte derecha inferior de la pantalla, que es el icono del mundo. Si al entrar, por favor, elija el idioma español. Y si por algún motivo no escucha al intérprete, regresa al inglés y vuelva a intentar la opción en español. Si aún no funciona, por favor de avisarnos en el chat. También desafortunadamente, esta función o la opción de interpretación no es compatible con las computadoras Chromebook, así que le recomendamos que intente entrar a la reunión utilizando el teléfono celular, ya sea iPhone o Android, o una computadora iPad o tableta para escuchar la reunión en español. Gracias. All right, Ms. Bell, I'm ready to start.
Thank you so much again. Welcome to the Bond 2020 Virtual Community Meeting for the Replacement School for John Quincy Adams Elementary School. We're so excited to have you join us this evening to hear more about this exciting process. To kick off tonight's meeting, we're so fortunate to have with us the amazing principal for this school, Principal Reyes, if you'd like to make opening remarks this time.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for connecting. We are very excited about this project and just continues growing and advancing. So make sure you stay all connected and give us your feedback. We are very excited again about having a
recording
new school,
in progress.
So your input is very valuable. Thank you, Jackie.
Thank you so much. As everyone knows, we have enabled our live transcription for closed captioning. This is an automatic feature, so we really don't have any control. We're hoping it will be accurate. So please, for those of you who do need transcription, it is now available and has been activated. Also in Spanish, remember, our interpreter is available as well. Whether you're joining us via the Zoom meeting or on Facebook Live, there's a way for you to participate. If you're joining us on Zoom, you can, when the time is appropriate, you can look at the lower right-hand bottom of the screen to the reactions button and raise your hand, and we'll go right to you, allow you to go off mute to be able to ask your question directly. Or if you feel more comfortable, you can certainly share any comments, questions, concerns in the chat feature. If you're joining us on Facebook Live, we're so happy to have you with us this evening. And again, we encourage you to join and participate. You can do so by submitting comments on our Facebook Live, and we'll share those as well and get those shared with the committee as well. We're very happy tonight that in addition to the principal for the school, we also have the executive director for the elementary schools in this area, Ms. Nunez. Ms. Nunez, would you care to share the remarks this afternoon?
Good afternoon, everybody. Again, I echo Ms. Tozuka's remarks in that we're very excited to get input from the community and to see the project growing. And we're very excited to have you guys in a new building as soon as possible. So input from you is much appreciated, and we're here to support in any way we can. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us, and thank both you and Principal Reyes for the outstanding work you do every day to make sure that we're educating our students and serving our families and our community. We appreciate everything that you're doing, especially during these difficult times. So this particular project, as we said, is a replacement school for John Quincy Adams Elementary School. This is a part of the Bond 2020 project, which is one of the largest, the largest bond project for public schools in the history of the state of Texas. Leading the effort for Bond 2020 is our Deputy Chief of Construction and Bond Services, Brent Alfred. Mr. Alfred will, at this time, share his thoughts and give direction for tonight's meeting.
Hey, thank you, Ms. Bell, and thank you, John Quincy Adams community. We're excited to be here. We're excited to bring you this new building that your community so much deserves. As Ms. Bell stated, this is the biggest bond in the history of the state of Texas. So we're taking a different approach I'm enjoying this process of engaging with this community. We're getting a lot of feedback from you guys, and I hope you see the feedback loop, how we're responding. You know, the very first meeting, we wanted to really listen to what you guys had to say and get those big three ideas. And our second meeting, we carried that forward and tried to carry that theme. Tonight, the architect is here to show you more about, you know, their site placement, maybe even go over some massing and, you know, suggesting of some materials and whatnot. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and introduce our architectural team, RPG. John, if you guys want to take it from here. Thank you.
So good evening. This is Javier Lucio, and I've got Travis Teeter here in my office joining me to my left. And John Lucio is on a different line. I think he's available if he wants to chime in as well. So good evening to everybody. Thank you for this opportunity. We've looked forward to making this presentation today to update everybody on the status of John Q. Adams. We've been working diligently behind the scenes, compiling the information we're going to need to move forward with this project. We've been working with the district on assembling the requirements for the new school. We've been meeting with Reyes as well to get input from her on some of the input that we need for this project as well. So we're just going to briefly update you tonight on some preliminary things that we've developed with the team, and just want to bring the community up to speed, and then offer some time at the end for everybody to ask questions if they have questions. So next slide. All right, as we've spoken before, this is an opportunity-driven environment that we're trying to create to advance the lives of our students and families. So this is just part of the process that we're going through here in developing the new project here for John Q. Adams community. All right, just again, a brief on the presentation we've made before. The image you see on the screen now is a rendering of the E.D. Walker Middle School we just finished on the north side of town. So this is a project that if you're in that part of town, you can see this is a render we proposed early on and shows what we've done there. So again, just an example there. We've got our team, as I mentioned before, myself, my brother John Lucio, Travis Teeter here in my office as well. And then some of the consultants will be AIM Engineering for our civil engineering, Victory Park Studios for our landscape, R.L. Woods and Associates for our structural engineer, Wells Doak as our MEP, and Cedric Frank as our technology. There are a few other members as far as our cost estimating team as well. And this is a team that has worked directly with the district now for almost 20 years. We've had quite a bit of experience working with the district, and are really proud and excited to be working with the John Q. Adams community on this project. Next. So just an overview of the existing new proposed facilities. Again, these are images we've shared with you in the past. It's just showing an overview of the existing site with the existing building that represents a few additions that have taken place since the original building was completed. You see the portables on the left-hand side as well. These are all things that are going to be removed and demolished as part of the process of building the new facility for JQ Adams. Again, just an overview showing the existing building, the limited parking you currently have, the use of the portables, and then some of the green areas and spaces that you have for us to be able to reallocate the new facility. So we've really taken what's been done on this site here. We're going to reuse or not reuse, but use the existing trees that are there as best we can. We are going to have to eliminate some of them just because of where they're located, but we are trying to take advantage of some of the large, beautiful trees you have on site. We are currently working with consultants on doing a pretty extensive traffic study to overview the best way to gain access onto the site by trying to maintain flow around the site as well. You know, getting people off of Lake June Road and getting people onto Pleasant Drive and Connor Drive to maximize flow around the site during peak times of the day. We know, as I've been on the site there a few times during when the school lets out, and we know traffic can be an issue for the site. So we hope that what we develop here is going to resolve some of those issues. Again, just some items that were identified at our last meeting, our last two meetings that we've had with community. This is just kind of a some of the bullet points that we've discussed over the last few meetings and things that we're going to show you here in the current plan that we have. Again, these aren't new items, the things we've discussed the last couple of times. Just a couple of bullet points are, for example, the implementation of a tornado shelter, item number 5 on this list. We're going to, item number 9, as we've spoken before, is the larger parking area, creating a safer student drop-off area and pickup for the students as well. And then maintaining the school garden area that you have on site and kind of reintroducing that in a new way here on the new site. So again, just a few points that we've discussed over the last couple of meetings, things that are still in play here for us in the new edition, in the new school. So again, just kind of the status of the work. We're in the environmental phase 1 portion has been completed. We are in the process of evaluating what the cost will be for that. And basically for that is just analyzing what the existing building has in it as far as other environmental issues that we have to address as part of the demolition. So that's what that report does for us. As I mentioned to you, item number 2, the traffic study, that is also in process, evaluating the traffic that goes along on this site and what we have to do to improve that as we develop a new school. Again, the zoning is in process. This is an existing site that obviously has a school on it, but by the new Dallas standards, we do have to rezone this and create what's called a plan development of PD for this site. So we're establishing the requirements of that PD. The geotechnical report, which has been completed and has been provided to the team, gives us the information of what's underground here, what we're going to need to do to build a new facility correctly with the right type of foundation, so we have a structure that's going to last and be maintenance free for decades to come. The survey has also been completed, which gives us a report exactly on where the trees are located and what kind of trees we have. This is important for the city of Dallas because any tree that gets eliminated has to be replaced or mitigated as part of our process. So that's important information we need. And then we're also in the process now of starting the schematic design phase. We've recently completed the scope of the budget phase of the project. So that gives us a clean direction on where we're going with the design, what's going to be included with the design, and this is input that we've received from the community as well as Ms. Reyes through these last couple of months that we've been working on the project. All right, so hold on just a second. We got a little ahead of ourselves. All right, just to kind of give everybody an update on the proposed schedule. These are very tentative at this point. That's why we've got the draft stamp across the drawing here, or this image here. So the existing building demolition, right now we're looking at starting the demolition of that building at the end of this school year, so June of 22. We will then start the relocation of the students from this site to a temporary site to begin in August of 22, with the demolition then scheduled for completion in October or the end of 22 to start a new building again in the winter of 2022. Right now, with the process dealing with the city, we'll be able to tighten those dates up, but right now we're looking at the winter of 2022 to start construction, with the new facility to be completed sometime in February or the spring of 24, to have the students come back and be ready for the new campus on the August of 2024 for that 24-25 school year. All right, this is a little bit of an update from some of the images we showed you at the last community meeting. Again, it's in the draft mode, but now we have a better understanding of the size of the school. So this is the site plan of the school now, with it placed still fronting Lake June Road. Access will be the primary access will be along Pleasant Drive, and there's a discussion at this point, again, with the traffic study, trying to understand what the traffic and parking needs are. So that portion of it may change as we develop that further, but again, we're showing that there on the east side of the site on Pleasant Drive, with again, the front on Lake June, as I said, but not the entrance. It does front Lake June, but that's not where the main entrance will be. The main entrance will be there where the drive is, on the right-hand side along Pleasant Drive. We've got the admin areas there and the cafeteria that'll serve both have access to the courtyard on the left-hand side and to drop off on the right-hand side, with the tornado shelter located there on the upper left-hand corner. and then both classroom wings there on both sides of the center area along Lake June. Again, that's a two-story portion of the building, and we'll show you that here a little bit with the floor plans, the preliminary floor plans. So that's the site plan. If anybody has any questions on the site plan, I'll pause for a moment to see if anybody has any questions about the site plan.
Again, if you have questions at this time, you can either, if you want to raise your hand by using the reactions button at the lower right-hand side, you can go off mute and ask your questions if you're in the Zoom call, or you can submit them through chat. If you're on Facebook, viewing us on Facebook, you can, of course, ask any questions and make any comments or suggestions by making comments on our Facebook post. Does anyone on the Zoom call have any comments or questions about the proposed site plan at this time?
All right, if not, we'll go ahead and move over to the floor plan. Again, you can ask questions about the site plan later, so it's no pressure. There's not any time limit here. We've got plenty of time for this meeting. All right, all right, so this is the first floor that we're showing here. The area there in red in the middle is the administration area. So when you come in, that's where the main entrance will be, in that general area between the admin and the special education area that we're showing there, kind of in the off green color. The area in the orange color in the middle is the media center. It will be located centrally on campus there. So it'll be, when people come into the building, they'll see the media center. It'll be a two-story space. It'll be the kind of the focus of the whole entire campus. We'll have special ed and classrooms to the right-hand side. We've got pre-K on one side and special ed on the right-hand side. And then we're showing the first grade and kindergarten space on the lower left-hand side as well, with anticipating some collaboration spaces within the hallways that'll be utilized for students to work together outside of the classroom, as well as be able to lead into the classroom as well. North, or on the right side, on top of the admin area, we've got the music stage area, which will serve as part of the cafetorium, which we've got located above the music and stage area. And then with a kitchen at the upper north-hand side, with a gymnasium to the left, kind of creating the courtyard on the outside on the left-hand side. So to the left, we have the outside area that'll be kind of, those classrooms and areas will focus to the outside, which gives direct access from the cafeteria and the gymnasium to the outside. Also, on the east side or the right side, we've got the cafeteria, which will serve as a drop-off and pickup point for the kids, as well as the administration area located there, focused there at the entrance, between the main entrance there on the right-hand side. So that's the first floor. If anybody has any questions about that, I'll pause for a moment. If anybody has questions about that before I move on to the second floor. All right, if not, again, we can come back to this. We'll go on to the second floor. So on the second floor, as you can see, the second level is limited only to the front portion of the building. We've got the stairs and elevator that are located around the media center, and you can kind of see in kind of the gold color represents internal stairs that'll be open to the floor, so you can actually move easily within the two floors. We've got second and third grade on the right-hand side, with the science room located there centrally. And then similarly on the left-hand side, we've got the fourth and fifth graders with the science room open, and again, more collaborative space located in amongst the classrooms. And then we're also going to do here, you see on both extremes, on the right-hand side and left-hand side, is an area that will lead to an outdoor space on the second level that can be used as collaboration teaching space as well. That's easily accessible from these classrooms on both sides. So again, keeping the classes, the grades separated between second and third and fourth and fifth, and centrally located around the media center space there in the middle. So that's the second floor. If anybody has any questions about the second floor, I'll pause for a moment.
Can we see the picture? I think we cannot see the picture very well.
Okay. So I'm sorry, is there a question?
He said that he cannot see the picture very well.
You're saying that is there a way to kind of zoom in on the floor plan portion?
Let's see, just a second.
Presentation.
Yeah, not without getting out of the presentation. It's really difficult for us to do that.
So everyone knows we will be sharing this presentation in both English and Spanish on our website. And also we'll email it to the principal to make sure she can send it out. If you want to try exiting the full screen and see if you can zoom in that way, it is a little fuzzy on the screen.
Okay. I'm sorry, because we're looking at it on a big giant screen in our office. It looks very large, so I apologize.
Oops. Let me go over this real fast.
And Mr. Hyde, I do see your question. We'll get that asked in a moment.
All right, can you see that better?
If you can zoom in a little bit more, that's a little bit clearer. But if you can zoom in a little bit more.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, there we go.
Yes, that's much better.
Okay. All right. Sorry. We were looking at our big screen on the TV. All right. We'll leave it there for now. And that's the second floor. Any questions there on the second floor, or should we go back to the first floor?
If you go back to the first floor, I do have one question coming in as well. Is there planned spaces for a makerspace? They did not see an art room.
Yes.
Yes, I had a question about the teacher's lounge. Is that the collaborator space marked in the first slide, on the first floor?
Hold on just a second. We're trying to get to the first floor. So yeah, we do have a makerspace.
Makerspace is this space right.
So right there is a makerspace next to the media center. Again, this is very, very diagrammatic at this point. I'm sorry, that is
art room.
And that's the art room there next to the media center as well, on the first floor.
In the administration, there's the teacher lounge.
And the teacher's lounge is in the administration area there, located centrally as well. Again, Ms. Reyes, we will work more closely with you as we develop this. We were just going through a process of kind of establishing the square footage that we were going to have in this building, making sure we could get it within the range that met the district's programs. So as we move forward from this stage, we will get into more of the detail of all that and work with you to kind of coordinate those spaces with you.
Will there be a teacher's lounge on the second floor?
Don't know if we currently have one, but we could definitely make room for that if there's not. John, I don't know if you can chime in on that. Those are the stairs.
Currently, there is no teacher's lounge on the second floor, but as Javier indicated, that's something that we may be able to work into the space. Now, there is staff areas on the second floor. There's staff toilet areas and facilities like that, but right now there is no break room on the second floor. But there is work areas and restrooms.
If you have any questions, you can either submit. If you're on the Zoom call, feel free to submit them as chats, or if you want to raise your hand, we can take you off mute so that you can ask your questions there. If you're joining us on Facebook, please feel free to ask your questions in the comments section. I do have a question coming through the chat room. It says, is the lunchroom staying the same size? Are there any plans on making it bigger or extending it to the second floor for more students? Because right now, my third graders eat. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what there was a type of eat. So what is bigger? They eat late, I believe is what it's saying. So with a bigger lunchroom, they could spread more kids into both floors, and more kids could eat much earlier.
So your cafeteria or your cafetorium is going to be significantly larger than the one you currently have. There really is not a need for a second floor there. Currently, it's just a single level. And again, significantly larger than what you currently have. The kitchen itself is going to be significantly larger. These are all the standards that meet the current DISD requirements for a school of this size. We also, what we're taking advantage of here with the location of it, where it's located now, is being able to take advantage of its location next to the courtyard so that kids, as they're finishing their meals, can go out and play as well. So I don't think there should be any concern about being able to seat the students. We have plenty of room here, especially compared to what you currently have. It's going to be night and day to what you currently have.
Fantastic. There was a question about an elevator. Is there an elevator?
There is an elevator. It's located next to the media center on the right-hand side. So yes, there will be an elevator. This building will be fully accessible for all people to use. So yes, there's an elevator here.
Fantastic. And will there be a playground for you? Will there be a separate playground for younger students? I'm assuming you're, Ms. Gonzalez, you mean the early learning students like pre-K
Yes.
and kinder?
Yeah, we'll go back to the site plan here. So on the site plan, on the right-hand side, the younger kid students will have their own dedicated playground here on the right-hand side. And then we're going to try to reuse, or we'll bring it up to today, but you currently have a playground that's embedded in the trees, and we kind of like how that is. If that's something that's still liked by the community, we'll maintain a playground there. And then again, this is very schematic at this point, but we're going to work with the landscape architects to create a really nice exterior space for you that takes that amphitheater that you had out there, the garden space you had out there. There'll be some features out there that I think you'll really like. But again, we're very preliminary now, but those are the features that we'll have on the exterior. So we'll have dedicated playgrounds for the different age students, and then you have a larger play field on the left-hand side, on the west side of that site as well. And these areas will be fenced in, so there'll be secure, safe areas for all the students.
Great. Are there any additional questions on the Zoom call or on Facebook? We're getting a lot of thumbs up and a lot of thumbs up and heart signs on our Facebook comments. So that's a good reaction on what the community is seeing on Facebook. Is anyone else on the Zoom call like to ask another question? Or make a comment?
We're going to go back to the presentation real quick and bring in kind of, because we've got some renderings.
Perfect.
That we're going to show you as well. Okay, so again, we can come back to these later if anybody comes up or picks up some questions, but let's continue with the presentation. So again, these, the next drawing here is a three-dimensional rendering of what you saw in sight there. Again, showing the two-story classroom wing there at the front. We've also got included, Travis, as you're pointing to where the entry is in front of the media center. We've got an outside space as well that's kind of dedicated to the media center and kind of an outside collaboration area in front. That's going to be, again, working with our landscape architect. That'll be an outside space that we'll be able to take advantage of. That's right off of the central area of the school. And as you can see on the drop-off area where the admin wing and cafeteria are, you can see where the cafeteria lends itself to being used for the drop-off area and pickup area as well. And then you can see the tornado shelter there on the right end, the taller structure where the gymnasium is. They're back on the left. Again, all that being used to kind of frame the courtyard that we're going to create outside. So we're really excited about how we're going to be able to utilize the framing of this building to take advantage of the large trees that are there and kind of recreate and I think improve the exterior, the outside area you currently have. I think you're going to be much happier with what we're going to do there. So that's our goal, is to give you a larger exterior courtyard area that can be used on a regular basis, not only by the students, but by the community as well, and kind of create this enhanced outdoor space for the school and the community to use. So that's one image, kind of a 3D of it. We'll show another rendering, again, now from the other view, kind of showing you from the west view, kind of showing you the same thing, but now you can see the courtyard area in back a little bit better. And then we have a couple of renderings, kind of three-dimensional from street view here as well. And again, these are very preliminary. This is kind of showing you the view from the west corner of the site, looking across the front. Again, let's go back real quick. So there on the left-hand side, if you'll point to that area there, this is kind of what we're imagining right there above on the second floor of the right there. That's an area that'll be an outside second level space. Again, that we're not really showing too much, but that's an area that can be used that'll be accessible from the second floor. We'll probably have a little bit more of a roof element to it as well, so you can use it in inclement weather as well. So that's something we're developing on both sides here. Again, this is a draft. This is not what your building is going to look like. We're just kind of showing you the massing of the building as far as the size of what that looks like. If you'll go to the next image. So again, this is the area there in front, directly in front, kind of showing you how the outdoor space from the media center. Again, that'll be accessed from the inside of the school. Again, the area, the district has gone to wrought iron fencing around the site, so it's going to be a very nice fencing that we'll have around the building. Basically there to keep the site secure, but that area will be accessed primarily from the interior of the building as a kind of an outside collaboration space. Next image. And this is kind of showing the other end of it as well. Very, very similar, but we don't show on the right-hand side is where the playground would be dedicated for the younger children as well. Next. And then this is the area, the drop-off area right there where the main entrance would be at the admin area between the administration area on the right and then your classrooms wing there on the left-hand side. And then you can kind of see the media center kind of standing up behind it there as well. So it's a two-story element. Again, very preliminary renderings. Windows haven't been designed yet. The finishes and colors. Next time we meet with you, we'll present basically a materials palette to get input from the community on different options that we're considering and to get direct feedback from the community on what they're looking for as far as materials, colors, and all that. We'll have input from you. At this stage, we're just, again, working through the preliminary sizing and siting of the building. So next image. So again, this is on the back portion of it, showing you where we'd be standing basically in the amphitheater area, looking back at the school. So again, the windows and things are going to be worked out more carefully, so we kind of create a connection between the inside and the outside of the building, and then kind of showing the playground there now within the existing trees. So that this will be a more formalized area in the back that can allow you to kind of create and plan activities for this part of the site. Next image. All right, that's it on the presentation. We open now the meeting for questions and answers from the community. We can go back to any of the images we showed you, or we can talk in generalities about the process if anybody has any questions. So as a community meeting, this is really the best time for everyone to speak up and kind of give us their opinions on what they've seen. If there's something they're seeing that they don't like, if there's something they're seeing that they really like, just to let us know. So this is really a great opportunity to get input from the community.
Hi, I have a question about the parking.
Uh-huh.
Is it going to be like a different parking for visitors?
Yes, there will be dedicated parking. Once the traffic study comes in, there will be dedicated parking for staff and for visitors, yes. And the site, as far as pickup and drop off is concerned, the parking lot and the drives will be utilized for staging of cars. We can maximize the amount of cars that we can queue up and get them off of the street. So I know when I've been out there now, cars queue up along Pleasant Drive and wait to come up onto Lake June Road, and it creates quite a traffic mess. And when I've been there in the afternoons, a couple of times I've been there. So the hope is to alleviate all that and really speed things up for the parents and for the traffic that moves through the site while we're doing this. So yes, but there will be dedicated parking for visitors as well.
Will it be the one at the very back on the corner of Lake June and Connor? Or is that the one?
So on the left-hand side, you mean, or on the right-hand side?
Well, if I'm looking at the front of the school on Pleasant, yes, the left.
Yeah, so that area right now where the cursor's on, that's more than likely would be where the majority of visitor parking will be, right in that general area. And there will be staff dedicated parking for the back. And then we've got service parking for some of the custodial staff and other kitchen staff to be located in the back as well. So, and that's also where we're proposing that the bus drop off will be towards the back as well, to separate the buses from the cars.
Okay. So no visitor parking in the front.
There will be no visitor parking in front. Yeah, we do not anticipate that there will be any access to the front. And there are several other schools that have been done this way at the DISD, where we get the visitor parking or get all the main entrance off of the main street to alleviate traffic backup and to make it for a safer environment too for the kids when we drop off and pick up the kids. So the primary drop off and entrance for the public will be there on the back from Pleasant Drive.
Thank you. And then I also noticed the 2 arrows for the carpool. Is it gonna be like that throughout? It's gonna be for drop off and pickup. It's gonna be 2 lanes.
They actually were anticipating having 3 lanes for backup. So typically 1 lane will be parked, then you'll have 2 lanes where second lane where people will wait, and then the 3rd lane is a lane that stays open to let people flow out easily. So they're not waiting on other cars. So that's typically how it's done in the 3-lane situation, to try to maximize pickup and make it as quick as possible. And plus you've got a lot of length there to be able to queue up cars as well. And like all traffic, when the school is open, there will be people out there kind of educating you where you need to be. And then once school gets into flow within the first few weeks, all that's worked out and simplifies the whole process. But yes, we're waiting on the traffic study to kind of identify what the needs are for this campus.
Okay. Can you show us on the map the way it's going to flow, like how many entrances we're going to have?
So if you look on the top on Pleasant Drive, at the top of the street, right there is where the main entrance will be. You'll come in there and you'll queue through the site and then out again to Pleasant Drive. You can also enter from Connor Drive and come through that way as well, and come through the site again and either join the queue line on Pleasant Drive right there to coming down, or just I think during pickup and drop off, everything is going to be exiting out Pleasant Drive unless our traffic study tells us something else. But I believe right now we're anticipating that everything will be exiting from Pleasant Drive, but you'll be able to enter from Pleasant Drive and enter from Connor Drive as well. The goal is to get everybody off of Lake June Road.
Okay, we do have a few questions coming through in the chat room as well.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Is the open field on the Connor side to be allocated for soccer, et cetera? We have a large number of students for soccer from pre-K through 5th grade, and I do not see a soccer field. Where is the soccer field located?
So that will be where the soccer play will take place. It's not large enough for a traditional soccer field. The site is just not that large, but that area will be dedicated. And that sidewalk that we're showing there will probably be moved as well to eliminate any concrete in that area. But that is the main play area that will be utilized for the students. Again, not large enough for a full soccer field, but large enough for soccer, obviously.
Okay, great. And I'm having a little bit of difficulty with the chat room. So if you've placed a comment in the chat, I'm going to ask you to please go in and just go off mute. And because we're having some low signal thing here. So if you're having any difficulty hearing us, I do want you to know that this meeting is being recorded. So you will be able to post it. We do have a little difficulty going on here, some glitches with our chat space. So if you did place a question in chat, please go ahead and unmute yourself and ask your question at this time.
I have.
Okay, thank you.
I think you can hear this question. I just want to wondering for the capacity of the gymnasium, the community center, and the auditorium. And the second question is, can we apply to the city to make one direction roads during arrivals and dismissal times to help with the flow?
So I'll start with your last question. As far as the flow is concerned, again, the traffic study will identify the need there, and we will work with the city if it's deemed that one-way traffic is what's needed. That is something that we have to work directly with the city on. So we will work on that, but it's all also based on what the traffic study analysis tells us. Again, should be getting that study here in the next, probably another month or so, I'm guessing, but that has been started. And then your other question, I'm sorry, was
the size of the cafeteria.
So the size of the cafetorium and the gym, trainer shelter, again, are based on the student count of the school. So all that is sized based on the number of students that are scheduled to attend the school. So all that will be sized appropriate. I know the campus as it is now has spaces that are significantly smaller than what you're going to have. So I just want you to feel confident that we're going to give you the sizes of the space that you need for the number of students you're going to have. And that's part of the analysis that's been taking place with the district on determining the size and the overall square footage of this campus.
I have a question. Is the entrance going to be through, not through Lake June, right? It's going to be through Pleasant?
Correct. Go back to the floor plan.
The floor plan.
So right there on the right-hand side, right between the administration area in red and the special ed section, right there, your main entrance is going to be right there. So there will be covered canopies on that L-shaped portion of the building, so kids can actually wait outside under cover and wait along the queuing area for the cars. So all that will be the formal entrance into the main entrance of the school. So that is what's the area where we're intending the main entrance to the school to take place, right there. So when you come in, you'll be by the admin area, you'll be by the media center, and you'll have close access to the classrooms wing if you need to go visit the classrooms. And then you'll also be able to access the cafeteria directly from the outside as well. So right there, it's kind of just centralized everything for us and kind of give us a centered point for everybody to work from. So yes, does that answer your question about the entrance?
Yes, but also in the main entrance, are you gonna have like the doors, and then there's usually, I've seen schools that have like a space in between for like
Correct.
waiting, and then they have other doors that actually they have to be unlocked. Are you guys planning on having something like that, or it's gonna be a little bit different?
Yeah, no, that's the standard entrance. You'll have a secure entrance that you'll come through, that you'll get buzzed into the vestibule, and you'll get buzzed into the admin area before you actually come into the school. So it's all very secure based on the DIC's current standards. So yes, there will be basically an area that controls how people come into the building. And then that same entrance serves as an exit. So leaving, it'll have a significant number of doors when you have an event, or if there's some event at the cafetorium or some function there, that you'll be able to exit easily as well with the number of doors necessary. But entrance into this area is very controlled.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question about the parking. The visitors parking, from what I see, I think it's located behind the gym, right, by the Connors Drive?
No, the visitor parking will more than likely be up front on the Pleasant Drive, right by the admin area. So when you park in that general area where the cursor currently is, you'll be able to walk directly to the area. And that's also where your handicap accessible spaces will be, just because of their proximity to the entrance. So that's where we anticipate the visitor parking to be.
Okay, so then how many parking spaces are allocated for teachers, or what is that parking area behind the gym?
So that parking area behind the gym is primarily, we're anticipating that would be for kitchen staff and custodial staff as well, and for some teachers as well. That the actual number of spaces will be defined once we have actual counts from the traffic study on, and get a staff count from Ms. Reyes as well. So the parking spaces you're seeing now may increase or decrease based on the need on the traffic study once we receive that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, again, thank you for joining us for this meeting. And I want to give instructions. If you're joining us on Facebook, please feel free to ask your questions or comments on Facebook, and get those shared as well. If you're joining us, please be sure to raise your hand and go off mute. You can ask your questions here. We're here to get answers, to get your input and feedback on what you're seeing tonight. So if anyone else on the Zoom call have any additional questions or comments or concerns?
I actually have another question.
Go right ahead.
On the second floor where you guys were saying that you guys were planning on leaving the open space to have like a additional, like, let's say for like art, I think. Were you guys planning, maybe we could probably do like an open space like with windows actually that probably like open, so they could do like a gardens, like an inside garden or something for the kids to like experiment, like, you know, so they could like.
So right now, no, let's go back to the second floor. So on the second floor right now, so the gray areas represent the corridors and kind of collaboration spaces between, for example, on the left-hand side where we're showing the science room, that's an outside collaboration space that we're pointing to right there. That could be something that leads out from the classrooms, that has a glass enclosure that leads directly out from the classrooms. There's also a space inside the building right there on the other side of the science room that can be used for collaboration space. So we'll develop those with you and Ms. Reyes as we develop this on how we want to utilize and build those, how we want to build those spaces out. So yeah, our hope is then, and I think one of the most interesting things I think has been happening with education now is how we're trying to create spaces that are more flexible and can be used for collaboration between the students more easily, but still at the same time, still giving you a traditional classroom that can be used for traditional classroom teaching as well. So that's the goal here, to have that kind of flexibility. And then on the lower level, our goal is to have classrooms that are more easily accessible to the exterior as well. So we can not only have visual access to the outside, but actually be able to utilize that, like you're just saying, to be able to go out and to the outside more easily as well. So those are things that we'll develop as this project moves forward. So those are great questions, and definitely things that we'll be looking at as we move forward.
Okay, coming from Facebook, could you go back over the project timeline?
All right, so the timeline here, again, very preliminary. I think we're being very conservative at this point, just on how things have been going with approvals through the city, and right now with construction delays that we've been facing due to COVID. We're, you know, that world has kind of changed over the last year and a half, as everybody's world has. So we're being relatively conservative on the timeline, just to make sure we're accounting for all the potentials. So right now we're looking at the end of this school year is when we will begin demolition of the existing building, to have the campus relocated to another campus for the start of 2022. And then once the demolition is completed, we will start with a new construction sometime in the winter of 2022. Again, that date is kind of established based on the timeline that we've been experiencing with the city of Dallas on getting things approved through engineering and the permit process. If we're hoping that can be expedited, we can start earlier, but right now, based on what we've experienced the last few years working with the city, that's really a more realistic timeline. So that has us starting construction about a year from now. And then with the building having construction about a year and a half, that gets us completed sometime in the spring of 2024 and ready for the school then to be finished out. We're bringing the new furniture, get the teachers prepared for the new year, and then August 2024 is when we anticipate the new school being open for the J.Q. Adams community. So I know it seems like a long time from now, but there's a lot of things that are going to take place in those 2.5 years we're talking about.
Okay, great.
I would like to ask a question. I'm sorry, but this is not more towards the building company. It's more towards any district leaders. Have you all determined where we will be located during the transition period?
Yeah, this is Brent Alford, Deputy Chief. We're studying a few locations. I'm working with Ms. Tasuka and Ms. Nunez on that. And I think we're getting close to a solution. But I'm gonna let Ms. Tasuka kind of hold one of our SBDM meetings and kind of announce it once we kind of flesh out some of those details.
Thank you.
So the good thing is to add to Brent's comment there is we have options. So that's a good thing. We have options. So we're working through that, and we're just trying to make sure we give you the best option.
Okay, do we have any additional questions coming from our Zoom? Any participants? If you don't mind, we had a couple of people who did join late on both our Zoom call and on our Facebook. If you don't mind just going back over the presentation on the various, the site plan and just quickly kind of hit the high points on the presentation again.
Okay, we'll do that. Let's go back to the site plan. And then also, I'm a little disappointed this time. Last time we had a bunch of students join us. I haven't heard a single question from a student. If we have any students out there, please feel free to ask questions as well. This facility is being built for you. So there's nobody more important than we can get a comment from these students. So if you have comments, please feel free to speak up. This is your time. This is your turn. So
definitely.
I will start over again here with the site plan, kind of just showing you where we're anticipating the footprint of the building to be. You can see there along, we will still front Lake June Road, but it will not serve as the main entrance to the site anymore. We will now enter along Pleasant Drive on the right-hand side there. You can kind of see the green boxes where the trees are. That's going to be that little corner there, that L is where the main entrance will be. You've got admin and cafeteria and the gymnasium on that side of the building, with the classroom wings being up front, a two-story classroom wing up front, framing an exterior courtyard, taking advantage of the large mature trees you've got on site, and to kind of create what I hope to be an exciting new exterior amphitheater area and kind of more formalized area for community events in the exterior as well. So that's the site plan. If anybody has any questions, and the kind of the blue star you see there on the right hand side is kind of a covered playground area for the younger kids, and that's based on, again, on playground standards for the district. Again, that'll be nestled in there between the existing trees and the new classroom room. And then also one more thing I guess I'd like to point out, in the front where what looks like kind of the front entrance, that's actually going to be an outdoor space that's going to be linked to the media center that'll provide kind of an outside collaboration space that can be utilized, again, using the nucleus of the community center, or I'm sorry, the media center as a center point for the entire campus. So it'll be great. It'll have great, easy access to the classroom wings, to the admin, and have its own little kind of unique little outside space as well. So we'll go to the first floor now. So again, just showing you the first floor. There's the media center there, in kind of burnt orange color in the middle, and then it's got the admin area located across the main lobby there. And as we spoke earlier, there will be a secure entrance coming in from the right-hand side there from the parking area. We've got the music and stage area on the back side of the admin area that'll access to the cafeteria, which has access both to the courtyard on the left and the parking and queuing up of pickup on the right. And then we have the kitchen, which is located on north of that, which will have, again, compared to your current facilities, these are all significantly larger to meet the demands of your current size, or the planned future size actually of JQ Adams. Same thing with the gymnasium off to the left, which has, as a tornado shelter, serves its purpose to be isolated from the rest of the building, because that's to be built as its own independent structure. Even though it's going to be connected to the corridor, it will be built as its own structure, but it too will have easy access to the playground outside, kind of framing in that courtyard around those other mature trees that we're going to be keeping on site. And then coming back to the center, media center, we've got the first grade and kindergarten on the left-hand side, with special ed and pre-K on the right-hand side. Again, using the media center as kind of the focal point of that floor plan. We'll take you up back to the second floor now, very similar to the first floor. It uses the media center as its focal point in the middle, with second and third grade to the right and fourth and fifth grade to the left. Again, using open collaboration spaces in the corridors and utilizing the exterior rooftops of the lower level for exterior outdoor collaboration spaces for those levels as well. So even though you don't have direct access to the ground, you will have access to the exterior. So I think this is going to be and as somebody else mentioned, utilizing glass and trying to keep the openness of the school and the classrooms to make it a much more, I think, 21st century schoolroom environment. So then we've got some renderings of it as well. We'll kind of show you here. So this is a three-dimensional view of the building with the classroom wing in front, the admin to the back, and the gymnasium further up at the top. And then we have another view of the similar image from the other side, from the west. And then some quick renderings that we presented early on as well. Again, conceptual only, kind of showing you the massing only. There's no intent here on the texture or materials. It's literally just to show you the massing of the building. So this is one view from the west. Similar view from the front, kind of at where the media center outside space is. A view from the east side. We don't see the playground here, but there's a playground to the right and some existing trees to the right as well. And then the main entrance there, located from Pleasant Drive, kind of showing you where you'll be coming into the building with a covered canopy area for protection from the elements as you come in, and to allow the kids to be able to wait as they're waiting to be picked up, or when they come out to be dropped off, they'll be undercover without having to come into the building before they're protected. I think that's the last image. This one. And there's this image of the courtyard in the back, again showing you that outside area, framing what's going to be, I think, one of the nicer, more unique spaces for you. The amphitheater with the classroom wing to the right, the admin wing and corridor kind of from the cafeteria facing you as you look to there to the left. And then we'll have the gymnasium, which you can't see on the left and further left, kind of framing that exterior space. And then standing behind me will be the larger green space that we talked about for soccer and other activities.
I have a question again. The media center is that's where the library is going to be located also, or that's going to be separate?
That is the library. The media center is the new term, I guess, that they've been using for libraries. Yes, what you and I know as libraries, they now refer to as media centers.
So that will be also the computer room, or the computer room is going to be over there by the gymnastics, like like on the very first floor.
No, so most of the activity, the Makerspace, the computer. Go ahead, John.
As far as based on the program that we have for the district, there is no dedicated computer lab. There is a Makerspace, which is to the right of where the media center. There's a rectangle to the right of where the media center is located. That is the Makerspace. That's to the right there. Now, there's no dedicated computer lab at this campus, and that's not part of the program. And if that's something that's desired by this campus, that's something we need to discuss further, but right now it's not in the program.
Mm-hmm. Okay. But obviously computers have become integral to our environment now. So all the classrooms will have the latest technology, smart boards, and access for the use of computers in all of the classrooms, from data drops to wireless communication. So all that will be per the latest DISD standards.
And for the restrooms for the first floor, like for the pre-K and for kindergarten, they usually have a restroom inside the classroom. Where would the other restrooms be located? Like, like the other restroom.
Yeah. So the little square you're seeing in those classrooms, that's a private restroom that will be in each of those classrooms. So all of the pre-K and kindergarten and first grade classrooms have dedicated private restrooms in each of the classrooms.
Okay, and will there be any other like restrooms, like for like example, I don't know, like because I think
yes, so there will be group restrooms. So staff will have dedicated restrooms as well, and then there will be group restrooms throughout both the first and second floor. So especially, let's go to the second floor. The second floor has group restrooms for the boys and girls, which are shown there. So that's boys and girls restrooms on both sides, dedicated to each side. So yes.
Thank you.
And again, the second floor will have dedicated staff restrooms and a staff area as well.
This is across.
Okay, great. Could you go back to the first floor one more time, just so we can be clear? If you see the media center is actually in the kind of the heart of the building. So when you enter through, if I'm correct, when you enter through the new entrance right there, the secured entrance, to the right would be the administration building, and to the left would be the media center. Am I correct?
That's correct.
Correct. That's correct. Yes, and we're kind of showing right now, developing an area that, again, to kind of create a more pronounced entrance and gathering space as you come into the media center.
Okay, great.
And there's also a stair there to the left that'll give you direct access to the upstairs as well. So from that main lobby area, you'll be able to gain access directly to the second floor. So anybody coming in and out can be seen there by the admin as well. So we're really creating that as a focal point for the entire school. Not only does it give you access upstairs, it gives you access outside to the courtyard on the back, gives you access to the front. So it's really, this becomes really the center point of the focus of the entire campus.
Wonderful.
Is the hallway gonna be like the one that we have kind of right now, like windows, or is it gonna be like, wall?
Well, you'll have windows. So right now we're imagining the majority of the hallway along the left-hand side, that's going to be primarily glass looking out onto the outside. Similarly, on the entrance where you come into the secure entrance, that'll be glass. So no, we definitely want to take advantage of and utilize natural daylight because we know it actually enhances the quality of the learning for the students. So we will definitely be taking advantage of natural light as much as possible.
Okay, thank you.
Are we gonna have cameras in every single hallway, or how is gonna look the security system?
Yes, so one of the analysis that's done with the district, they have a securities review that they do for each of the campus, locating cameras, locating access points where teachers have card access and certain people have limited access. But like I said, for you and me or any of the public, we're going to be coming to the main entrance and we'll be led through the campus. But there will be cameras throughout the school and the exterior of the schools as well. That's all part of the security analysis that's done for the school. So that is standard for all DISD schools.
Thank you.
Okay, again, if you're joining us on Facebook, this is the Dallas ISD Bond and Construction Services meeting regarding the replacement school for John Quincy Adams Elementary School. You can respond and ask any questions and express your concerns or as comments on our Facebook pages, either Facebook or Facebook in Espanol. If you're on our live meeting, go ahead and just unmute yourself and ask any questions you may have as we're kind of going through the process here of looking at this renderings for the new school. I'm asking for the new school, new campus.
So again, we are open for questions. We have about 20 more minutes. Y también si hablan español, pero pueden preguntar en español. Tenemos un traductor. No hay problema. No tengan vergüenza de nadie. Si tienen preguntas, por favor.
And again, our chat feature in the Zoom call is not working well. So if you are on the Zoom call, please go ahead and unmute yourself and ask any questions.
And I will say too, Ms. Bell, that if someone comes up with a question after the presentation,
definitely
feel free to submit the questions to the team. We will definitely, we're open to questions. If you're not limited to this time to ask questions. We will get to a point here over the next few months where decisions will be made and it'll be very difficult to make changes. So right now is really the time to ask your questions and give us your input. Again, it's not limited to today, but if you think of something over the next few days or this afternoon or tonight, just feel free to submit questions to the team.
Thank you so much for that. And again, this presentation is being recorded, and the presentation as well as links to in Spanish and English and links to the presentation will be available at our website at www.dallasisd.org/bond 2020 meetings. And in fact, if you go to the Bond 2020 website, you'll be able to go in And this project itself has its own project page. She'll be able to go in and follow the process on this throughout until we actually open this new school in a couple of years. So we invite you to please share that information with those who were unable to attend this evening. And again, the presentation itself will be translated into Spanish and posted on the website as well. So let me go here. Mr. Alfred, would you like to share anything at this time as far as next steps or where we're going on from this point?
Yeah, I think we're at the point where we can, start really rendering the building. It looks like our footprint is pretty good and solid, set down. I'd like the architecture team to continue to meet with Mr. Suka and her teachers and staff so they can develop some of these spaces in a little bit more detail. That way, when we come back, we're gonna come back to you guys in January, February timeframe and kind of explore these spaces in more detail, show you what we have. And also we'll have a more refined rendering and some options between some of the materials. After that, got a big surprise for you guys in April. It's Architecture Month. So, we're gonna have all the schools kind of basic things for you guys so you can see what's happening across the district, as well as your school. So we're excited. I appreciate John and Javier, Travis, the whole RPGA team, as well as my project managers, Takita, for getting us here. But we're excited. Great community, great staff, great school, and we look forward to seeing you guys in the beginning of next year.
Okay, Ms. Nunez, you're the executive director for this particular side of the school, and would you care to share anything else with the community at this time, or your reactions, your thoughts about what you've seen this evening?
So I'm excited to start seeing the spaces be defined and to continue getting input from the community and the staff on what's more user-friendly for them, since they're the ones that get to enjoy this beautiful brand new building. And I know they've been waiting a long time. We've all have seen the conditions of the current JQA. So I just ask everyone to continue participating in these meetings and to have patience with the process as we start getting more and more information ironed out. We know they deserve to be in their building as soon as possible, so we're going to do our very best to have a smooth process moving forward. I encourage them to reach out to the principal at any point in time so that she's able to communicate questions and bring back some answers. And of course, I'm available at any time as well. Thank you.
And again, thank you so much for the leadership you provide to our elementary schools in this particular area, and for the hard work you do to make sure that our families are engaged and our children are educated. With that, we're going to give closing remarks this evening. And again, I want to follow up one more time. You can keep track of this and all the Bond 2020 projects at www.dallasisd.org/Bond 2020. There you will find details about the project. You will find the meeting minutes and presentations and recordings for all the meetings we have. Please feel free to share this with your families and your friends who you are unable to attend today. We really, part of the commitment for Dallas ISD through our Bond program is transparency and engagement with our stakeholders and community. Your voice and your opinions are very important to us as we shape and develop our new schools and replacement campuses, as well as during renovation of our existing campuses. And with that being said, principal of this amazing campus, your reaction for tonight and any closing remarks you may have.
I just want to say thank you again, and thank you for the great questions. And the mom that was asking lots of questions, that's great. Just share this with others so they can be involved as well, because remember, this school is built for our scholars and we want the best for them, and the more input we have, the best we can serve them. So thank you, have a good night, and thank you to everyone.
Hey, thank you everyone, and have a wonderful evening. And again, if you're a parent out there, make sure that you're sharing this information with your KQA scholars as well. So we want to hear the input as well from our students, as well as our faculty and our staff. So with that being said, we're going to close tonight's meeting and have a wonderful evening, everyone.